Hi everyone, welcome back to I Testify with Rachel at Kunda. On this channel, we share stories, we share testimonies of faith, hope, breakthroughs, and God's love all around us. Today, I have an amazing guest. Now, I'll give you a little background story. In 2023, I started this channel. And this lady was one of the first people, actually she was the second people I called for us to shoot an episode on I Testify with Rachel at Kunda. Unfortunately, that video was never posted because, my God, it was such a struggle. The volume was bad, the lighting was bad. There's a way I was looking, I'd just given birth, everything was just not working. So that video never went up. This time when I was ready and we're ready now to really start shooting and share these testimonies with you guys, I called her up and she did not hesitate. Immediately she said yes. I am very happy and honored to introduce you guys to my friend Dorothy.
Hi everyone. Hi Rachel.
Hi Dorothy.
I'm so happy to be back.
Thank you for coming back. Thank you for picking up the call and saying anytime I'll show up. I don't take it for granted. Yeah, because your story is powerful. It is encouraging, it is uplifting, it is a story of hope, and I believe people out there will be blessed by it. So now just briefly tell us who you are, a bit of your background, how you grew up. And yeah, I like for people to know people's backgrounds because they help us understand who they are.
Okay. A bit of my background. First of all, my name is Dorothy Sarale. Yeah. Nasozi, I am the firstborn of 4 with my mother.
Let's be clear.
But my father, we are 10 beloveds. And all of us, we are all siblings. Yeah. And we all grew up together. Yeah. My mother mothered all of us. So fast forward, I God blessed me with 2 children. 8-year-old Heather is my oldest child, and then 6-year-old Harvey. And Harvey is the reason I'm here. My beloved Harvey suffered from a brain damage at 3 days old. I did not give birth to Harvey like that. He got jaundice and the brain got damaged 3 days later, and which is the reason as to why I'm here today. I think that's briefly my background or who I am. Yes. Yeah. I am also a writer and I'm very many things, but today I think I am a mother, and that's what I'll talk about.
And you are also a lover of God.
Yes, I'm a very staunch, deep Christian.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Good to have you, and thank you for the background. Yeah. So we are here to talk about Harvey. And the testimony is about Harvey. Yeah. Yes. So can you take us back to your pregnancy? How was it? And up until you giving birth to him.
Okay. So I gave birth to Harvey on Friday, January 4th January 2019. And basically it was a normal pregnancy, or so I thought. No, I know it was a normal pregnancy. Gave birth to him. I was very excited. I already had a name. Harvey was that name. Little did I actually even knew what it meant then. Yeah. Strong soldier. Oh. So I put to bed on Friday at about 3 p.m. and little did I know that he had what they call bilirubin, or the bilirubin levels were high in his bloodstream, or in simple terms, jaundice. Oh. And this manifested, I think that for me to notice his eyes were yellow was when the following morning, because I gave birth on Friday at about 3. So, you know, when you give birth, you're excited, clean yourself up, and baby was sleeping or slept most of, you know, I think from that time to morning. And if I remember well, there were quite a number of people coming to visit and you know. So you're in that phase, or I was in that phase for those few hours between 3 p.m. when I gave birth, Friday, to Saturday morning when I took him for that first polio immunization. So I remember nurse giving him that drop and telling me, the baby has some slight yellowness. Please remember to put him under the sun. And I said, okay. I remembered my Heather, my first child, had this, or we went through the same experience. So I mean, in my head, I had done it before, and I will do it again with this one. And so it's okay. Little did I know that jaundice, or the yellowness in the eyes that manifests before baby makes 24 hours, is dangerous jaundice, or is the dangerous kind. So yes, I was blissfully or ignorantly discharged after that polio immunization. We went home.
So the other doctors that came to check on baby didn't notice any of this?
To be honest, no doctor even came to check on baby. It was only my gyne and his
assistant.
His concern was me,
you.
not Harvey, not the child. And so yeah, I was discharged and went home. So when I went home, Saturday seemed normal to me. Sunday morning, I remember him crying a lot because he had. I showered him, fed him, and he cried. But it did not occur to me that it was not normal. In my head, I thought,
baby, no more.
I think I've given birth to a crier.
Baby. Yeah.
So, yeah. And I remember, I think, in the evening, showering him and, you know, nursing him, and he slept. Now, Monday morning, there was a nurse that would come and assist me, code clean and, you know, wash him up, you know, for that first week. So this fateful day, it was a Monday, she came by to, you know, shower him and clean him up. So this fateful day, she came by to clean him, and I remember him, you know, as if he was feeling cold, shivering. So after she showered him, quickly she gave him back to me and asked me to nurse him. But I remember when I put him to nurse, the milk, he did not swallow.
Oh.
Yeah, so I now wondered, what is wrong? So I had to turn him so that the milk would come out. And that's when it occurred to me, maybe it's malaria, maybe he's caught a fever. So I sent a message to the dad, because by then, since I had just given birth, as with my mother at her home, I had to call the dad to come and pick us up and take us to see a doctor. So when I nursed, as I was trying to nurse him, I realized the milk had stayed in the mouth. So I had to tilt him so the milk could pour out. And it occurred to me, I think he could be having or running a fever. So I called the father. I had been staying at my mother's house, because when I would give birth, I'd first go to my mom's home. So he came, but he delayed a bit. He came in the afternoon. So he took us You know.
So all this time from morning till afternoon he was not feeding?
Yes. No,
Eventually he swallowed?
Eventually he tried to swallow, but I could see he was struggling. So which is what made me think it was a fever. I didn't really think much of it, you know. So we go to, so the father comes, picks us up and takes us to Lifelink and Tinder, because I thought, it's a fever.
Anyone can.
Yeah. So when we reached Lifelink, thank God, we found a very good pediatrician, bless her. Immediately she saw the child. She didn't have time to even explain to us what was happening. She just got her phone and called, hello, we have an emergency, a neonate. Please help us with an ambulance, let it have an oxygen line. Maybe to take you back on our way, because we're staying in Gayaza. Between Gayaza to Ntinda, Lifelink, I remember his head starting to tilt back. And I kept pushing it back, and it kept going back. Until when I would push it, and you know, it was now stuck in that position. And I was so scared. Then at some point, I remembered the jaw dropping.
His jaw?
Yeah, the lower jaw. I would try to shut it, but it was dropping.
It would still drop.
Then eventually it dropped and stayed in that position as well, and got stuck. Like
you couldn't
push it back, and then also the neck had. So in my head, of course, I was thinking the worst. I was like, okay, I'm losing my child. So we get to Ntinda. I'm now a frantic mother. Thankfully, the pediatrician also realized it was an emergency. Before we knew it, they were asking us, between IHK and Zambia Hospital, where would you want us to go? Because this is an emergency. Child is in a critical state. We'll explain to you later. And indeed, so we got into an ambulance, drove from, I sat in the ambulance with my son while they were, that doctor, God bless her, also went with us because it was such a delicate situation. She was actually the one trying to resuscitate the child this whole time between Ntinda to Zambia, where we eventually decided to go, or advised us to go. So we get to Zambia, and that's when now they explained to me what was happening. But even I can't even say it was explaining, because they had no time. I remember a team of many doctors surrounding my son. They chased me out. And then, so as they're telling me to shut the door behind me, I remember they were shouting at each other, bring this, bring that, do this, bring this, you know. And I remember one of them saying, guys, one of you needs to cancel that mother. This child is not going to make it. I said, what? No, please. If it's not going to... But, you know, at that time I was also crying, because I had seen. And in as much as I was in denial, honestly, I had seen, and I knew the minute the jaw dropped that I was losing my son. So I pleaded with them, can I please take a picture of him? I just needed 2 pictures, and I hold those pictures so dearly. You know, for me, it's a reminder of how I pleaded to God in that time. And Rachel, I had never prayed in my whole life like that day. And so, yeah, the rest is history. And that's just how went into treatment. We were admitted, I think, for about 3 weeks in Zambia. Went through the whole exchange transfusion.
Yes, so they explained to you what exactly was going on with him?
Actually, they did not explain to me what was going on. I remember when I tried to ask, one of those busy doctors told me, Google canicterus.
Oh.
And when I went to Google canicterus, it was sad. I knew, it dawned on me then what had happened. But I'd love to say I was beautifully naive at that time. And I remember when I told his father, this is what we are going to deal with, or this is what we are dealing with, I remember him saying, no, people get accidents, people get stroke, suffer from stroke.
And come back.
And the brain gets damaged, and they come back. This is a newborn baby with a brain damage. He will come back. You know, we're beautifully naive. And so, to be honest, I held on to that hope for maybe 1 to 2, 3 months. I hoped he would sit. I hoped that he would crawl. I hoped that he would walk. I honestly, yeah. And so I decided I'm going to nurture him and raise him the same way I was nurturing and raising Heather. So I was beautifully naive at the time. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I like that. So at what point did you actually sit down and accept? But then also, at what point did you look to God and be like, you know what, I have surrendered this whole situation to you? Yes, while you were in hospital, I want to believe that most of us, when we're in such a situation, will look to God. And then if he doesn't come through for us, we'll probably give up and be like, oh, you abandoned me. But knowing you, you've held on to your faith, you've held on to God, even through all this. Yeah. So there are some people who give up, then there are some people who actually grow stronger in their faith. So yeah, I would like for you to speak to that.
So, with all honesty, my faith in God now is not where it was then. So many things have changed over the past 6 years, the course of the past 6 years. I've grown in faith. I've grown to understand and know God for who he is. Acceptance did not come easy. But I remember there's a doctor in Zambia who told me, who said, I don't know if they even will ever know that they impacted onto my faith as a Christian or that journey. I remember her telling me, asking me, do you have another child or other children? I said yes. And she asked how many. I said I have one more. Harvey is my second. And she said, I want you never to compare Harvey with his sister. Never compare him with any other child. His journey is going to be different. And I want you to love him. When you love him, he will blossom. If you don't love him, you'll get exactly that. And so those words stuck. But walking the Christian journey, at that time, I was what they call a joking Christian. I would pray, even at the point when things were bad. I'll tell you, I called the friends that I thought were the prayer warriors in my life. Sent them messages, called them, please pray, my baby is fighting for his life. Because at that point, yes, first of all, I was still a lukewarm Christian. 1, 2, I was in battle. So I want to borrow the words again, beautifully naive, even in my Christian faith. And then shortly after that, I slipped into depression, of course, because you have very many questions. You're fighting with God. You're saying, why me? What is the why in this? I kept asking God, what is the why? Where is the why? What is my why for you giving me a very healthy child for just 2 days? And then this happens. Is it a lifelong journey? God, what is my why? Where is my why? So I went through that phase. And then little did I know that God was trimming me as a Christian. You know how you trim a tree? A plant?
You prune.
Rather prune. So friends, all the so-called people I thought were my friends went away.
Wow.
So now I remained with the genuine friends, family, the words, not everyone you're born with or not everyone that's related to you is actually family, sunk.
Wow.
And keep sinking.
Of heavy?
Exactly, because I had with my own ears and saw with my own eyes a cousin, a first cousin, by the way, mention something like, I'm going to say this in Luganda because that's how exactly she said it. Bozalo omwana omulamu weesunako. Loosely translated to mean when you give birth to a healthy child, let me use the word healthy or normal in quotes, give thanks.
Wow.
You know, and it didn't occur to her that that statement would hurt me. So I sat and said, wow, what is she trying to say? What is she trying to imply indirectly? So many things looking back were taken off me. I changed my entire career. I started a ministry. I realized as I was getting out of depression, I realized now I needed to lean more into, or I was a lot comfortable discussing my life or what I was going through with mothers of special needs children. And I got a lot of encouragement, would encourage one another in scripture, in you know, raising the child, what we're going through generally. When you're sad and thinking, oh my God, how could my cousin say such a thing? And then you go back to the social network of special needs mothers and you share it with them, and then someone says,
for you,
it was your cousin.
No.
Mine was my mother. And you're like, what? Your own mother said that? Or said something worse? So you're encouraged. You're like, okay, at least it's not my mother, or at least it's not my sister. You know, there was always something else. And then you pray. I learned how to pray. I've learned how to pray. For me, Rachel, that's the most beautiful thing. And
I like how you say it with so much, with a smile.
Yes.
There's a way you said it and your face just lit up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have learned how to pray. I have learned how to talk to God.
And depend on him.
And depend on him. I have learned how to read the word.
Amen.
And depend on it. Pray and actually fast and rely on the word, because it's all that I have, all we have. Yeah.
Wow. We thank God. And the last time we met, you gave such a beautiful tribute to your mom. You said your mom really supported you on this journey.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, you correct me if I'm wrong, you mentioned your mom telling you never to leave your child looking, because you know sometimes they'll release saliva and everything. I remember you telling me that your mom said, ensure this child is like Heather, how you already mentioned. Ensure she's like Heather. And for me, I was like, wow, you had at least that support of immediate family and all, which I think is a blessing, because yeah, some people might not exactly have that. Yeah.
So when I was starting the journey, and I remember sharing it with her, my mother is a Muganda, so we speak a lot of Luganda, and she said, first of all, the vernacular words to describe special needs children most times are harsh.
Yeah, which ones?
And in Luganda, there's I remember someone saying, "Omwana yagongobadde." It's meaning a child. Okay, it means a crippled person, but it's a bit harsh. So I remember when I told her that I was told her yagongobadde. I remember the first words she told me. Of course, also her I don't, but my mother is a fighter. So for her, the first thing she told me was, "Don't worry, Dorothy, we are going to love Harvey. Let's love Harvey so that everyone else that comes into our life or his life has no choice but to love on him." And to be honest with you, that's the best advice that I ever got. Or I needed to hear those words from my mother. And indeed, I don't know anyone that has
walked this journey.
Yeah, that has loved my boy. Everyone around me loves. I'm confident my friends or people, even new people come into when they come into my space, our space with Harvey, they have no choice but to love on him because of, number one, what he looks like. My handsome son is always well shaven.
He's so
cute. I make sure I change his clothes, his wardrobe a bit more frequent than I change the sister's wardrobe. My son is well taken care of. He is always clean. You'll never find a fly around him. He drools, yes, but you'll never find saliva on him. You will not find him in a dirty space. And he's always well fed. And generally, by the way, funny enough, when a stranger comes to him and calls him and says, "Hi, Harvey," he will not respond, because why are you not calling him baby, Harvey? Why are you not adding baby?
Baby,
yeah, it's all he knows. Please, you're new, I don't know, you add baby.
So Harvey is responsive.
Yes, he's very responsive. He understands everything. And depending on how you interact with him, I'm telling you, if you don't start by saying baby Harvey and calling him baby Harvey, not just Harvey, he will not respond. But when you call him baby Harvey, "Are you okay? Have you eaten?"
That's sweet.
He will respond. Yeah, of course the response has come very recently, much recently. Yeah.
It's so beautiful, I think, to see these milestones and developments in him. But I also want to highlight the importance of community, especially you mentioned you are associated with a group of mothers going through the same. How has it helped you? How has it supported you? I would like for you to highlight on that, because I'm very sure some mothers out there are to themselves. They do not, and they are keeping this to themselves and going through this by themselves. Yet they could actually have people to walk the journey with, knowing that, okay, Dorothy is going through the same, meaning even me. I mean, it's a walkable, it's a journey that can really be beautiful. What would you speak on that?
Having a community is very, very important in this journey. For me, honestly, it was in as much as I had the emotional support from my immediate family, siblings and mother, and some friends, a community of people with whom you're going through the same thing was a breath of fresh air to me, because of very many reasons. There's so many, we are in different phases of life. This journey deals us different cards. 95% of the mothers, and I'll say mothers because we do the most work when nurturing our children, taking care of our children. There are fathers that do. I will not discredit them, but it's 95% of mothers, because I started this ministry. It's now my ministry, where I bring together mothers, parents of children raising special needs children. And in our gatherings, most times we discuss, we share, and 95% of those women's marriages are broken. The men have gone. And why have they gone? Because of that child. No marriage is perfect, or relationship, but when there's a situation, a permanent situation that involves a child, in this African traditional society where people are saying, oh, it's their culture, or then some men will say, in my culture, in my family, we don't give birth to such children. Or, there's so many things that trigger negative opinions. Or even men as men, there are those men, there are fathers in our community that have come out and said, look, I chose to stay by my wife, even when my friends were saying, how can you? Now you're being embarrassed that your sperm quality gives birth to such products, But Rachel, no one wakes up and asks God for a child that's the way Harvey is. Looking back to the Dorothy then and the Dorothy now, I would have never imagined I'd be where I am now. But the community has really held my hand. And for me, like I told you, it became eventually a ministry where I love to encourage mothers because of the social capital and the emotional support that I have. I've been able to mentor many of these mothers and helped some establish small businesses, soap making, bakery, and I have several of these success stories where I could take you and tell you, look, I met Mother X when they were here.
Yeah.
And now this is where they are. They now have that kamani. Once you have the financial muscle, the way the load is the load becomes lesser and lighter. So for me, there's a lot the community has done for me. Yeah.
That's nice, because also you mentioned you were also running this ministry where you had children at your house. Yes? Yes. How would you get these children to your house? Who are these children? And then also take us into, now you have a facility like a school where you're taking care of these children.
Okay, so initially I would get into situations where you know, 1 or 2 mothers would request that I support them with maybe their child. And luckily at that time, I think about 4 years ago, there's an organization that employed me from what I was doing, from what they could see online, employed me to start for them a facility. This is 4 years ago. And this organization required me to set up a home for children with special needs. So I started one in Chiwatule under that organization. So I got in very many people, and it reached capacity, but mothers kept calling me. Probation officers were sending me people. So I saw a gap, a need, and I said, you know what, let me now open my own. So I opened my own, and it also reached capacity because most importantly for me, it was very crucial that the ratio of child caretaker and the child is 2 to 1 because of the amount of work, and then their own shifts. So it reached capacity, and so I requested a friend to partner with me, and so now they're doing that because of course I am employed fully somewhere else in another organization. But that, like I said, it's my ministry. I am really, really passionate about supporting these children. But most importantly for me, Rachel, the mother, the parent, I've also authored a book to support mothers, because very many times the questions that I'm asked are, how do you feed? What do you feed? When you're depressed, what do you do? You know, in our sessions, these are things that we keep discussing, and we talk about them. We'll talk about them last week. Parents will ask about the same questions next week, and seasons are different. Today I am happy, and I will deal with Harvey that way. But I don't know what next week I will be like. And I don't know how I will love on him when I'm down, or what situation will cause me to be down. So, and I remember when I was starting this journey, because I was so eager on raising him positively, I canvassed the internet for a book, some form of literature to tell me the how and what. But there was nothing. There were just anecdotes, small, short stories about something specific. And yet I wanted the whole long, you know,
the details.
The details. You know how sadly God don't give us a manual on motherhood. But I wanted the manual on how to raise a special needs child. Sort of like a manual, not
from people that have walked ahead of
or
you.
a guide. And I said, you know what? Let me start writing my own. And so that's how I birthed my book.
Show us your book.
So this is my book. I encourage all mothers to really read it. Because I wrote it with this in mind, sort of like a guide. You know, when you're sad, how do you go through sadness? There are people who go through sadness by writing, which is what I do most times. Then there are those that pray, but like I said, there are seasons. These are seasons. And in those seasons, how am I mothering Harvey? How am I mothering Heather? Because there was also a time, like I said, when I fell into depression and I realized I was affecting Heather. I had left out Heather.
Yes.
Now, no one ever talks about the other children who are being raised with the special needs children. By the way, in my next volume, I'm writing another that I'll release soon, a perspective from
the other siblings.
The other siblings. Yes, because now very many of us, I have this friend, she's called Lydia. Hi Lydia, I know you'll watch this. She was raised with her autism sibling, and there's just the two of them. Heather and Harvey are both born in January. Heather is 10th Jan, Harvey is 4th Jan. And while everyone knows Harvey's birthday and wishes Harvey happy birthday right from as early as 1st January, no one ever talks about Heather. Or actually most people don't even know that there's Heather. Or those who know think she's younger, and yet she's before Harvey. Oh, how is Harvey? And the sister. No one even knows.
Like by the way.
Yes. So it always occurred to me, why is Lydia? Lydia was always keen on asking how Heather was. How are you? How is Heather?
Because she lived it.
Because she lived it. And she always told me, Dorothy, don't ignore Heather. Dorothy, look out for Heather. For the longest time, I did not love my brother because
he took
my parents' attention. They always expected me to be a certain way. Him, they had no expectations. And then she told me, no, actually, I think this was another friend of mine who told me that the mom outrightly told him, he's a boy, if you ever get married, if you ever marry, because us will die and go away from this world, but if you ever marry, always move with your brother. Go with your brother. Whoever you marry, tell them that you have a special needs sibling who you're coming in with. So yeah, for me, this guide is for mothers deeply, but the next guide is going to be deeply about how we should love the other siblings, but also now, because this one was written with the perspective of the journey, starting the journey. How did I navigate it? How am I navigating it? Then also volume 2 is a lot about now the older children. We do not parent the teenagers or the adult special needs children like I'm parenting Harvey. And I keep telling mothers the journey never ends. And this parenting is different. It's called special needs parenting for a reason. As sharing with you earlier, there's this group of mothers that there's a time we're having our discussion, special needs mothers discussions, and one of them came and told us she was so stressed that she found her autistic 22-year-old son masturbating. And she was so disturbed. And then another parent said, no, it is okay. Just talk to either therapist or if there's a male figure, father figure, to tell him about that act being discreet because he understands, right? But even if he did not understand, for as long as he's doing it, just in our special needs parenting way, find a way of teaching him that this act is okay, but discreet. Now, a parent to a neurotypical child will be, abomination.
God forbid.
Why are you telling your child about masturbation? Why are you encouraging it? But we are walking a different path from their journey. So yeah. Then there's the aspect of menstruation in our children. There's so many things. So the volume 2 is coming now out with those tiny
big nuggets. They might seem tiny, when they are really, 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 really big. This is nice. Yeah, so just a simple message. Thank you again for sharing your story.
You're welcome.
I wanted to ask a question. I don't know if it will make sense, but I wanted to say, so in like 2 words, what is the testimony? 2 lines, 2 sentences.
Okay,
Yes.
I will borrow what since you said 2 words, grass to grace. Yeah.
Wow, that's nice. So for other parents, I won't say mothers, because I mean it's a whole unit. Sometimes we say mothers and ignore the fathers, because there are certain fathers walking the journey.
Yes.
What are your final words to them?
To the fathers walking the journey, please find your person. Find your person who supports and holds on to your emotions. It's hard for men. Most importantly, know your why, but support your wife, support your partner. You might be navigating the why. If we both navigate the why me, why us? But while you're navigating the why, please support your partner. Be one and put God at the center. Yeah. I wish I knew this then, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
My story would be a lot different, perhaps.
Yeah, but there's always a reason why we walk the journey the way we do.
True.
Yeah, so you look back and you're like, okay, maybe this was meant to teach me this, something like that. Yeah. But thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Harvey looks, he's always cute. I've always told you.
Yes,
he looks so good. We thank God for how far he has brought you, Harvey, and the family, Heather, and everyone else. And we ask you to send our love.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Just let me know. I've always told you. Let me know how you think I can be able to support and push this agenda.
I did mention the books are available in all bookshops. And for those that can,
which bookshops?
Aristoc, Mukono Bookshop. The rest of you can always reach out to me through my social media handles, Dorothy Kisarale, and order for any number. There might be someone that would want to. For me, it's important that they go to every special needs mother or parent out there. Those of you that can, please buy for a special needs mother or special needs mothers. A copy costs only 50,000. It's very good information, might not be to you, but if you can, please purchase one for a special needs parent. Yeah. Thank you so much. You're welcome.
Thank you, guys. I hope you were blessed by Dorothy's story. I hope you were inspired. As I like to say, let's always be kind to one another. Let's be kind to each other. So if you haven't yet, kindly subscribe, hit the notification button so that you get notifications every time we load new testimonies on the channel. Otherwise, thank you so much. See you next week. Bye. Dorothy, thank you.
That's at all. Thank you.
You look like your mom.
Yeah, I do a lot.
This is Heather.
Yes, that's Heather.